Hello YouTube. How's it going? Getting close to Christmas here. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope at the end of the week you get some cool presents and things. It's always nice. I'm gonna be working on more of the enemy meshes tonight. I've been lagging on this one, the one that I was working on the last stream. Should have been done with it already, honestly. But working on it now. Moving on it. I'm gonna make some adjustments to it because I'm not super happy with it. So I'm gonna be doing some modeling and then probably some UVing, and that's probably all we'll have time for tonight. But we'll see how it goes. Let me switch my screen over here. Ba-ba-da-ba. There we are. See, I'm gonna jump right in. Switch my headphones over so I don't go crazy hearing my own voice. There we go. Much better. Alrighty. So yeah, I kind of mostly done with this dude as far as the modeling goes. Finally cleaned him up. I decided I'd make this like a double kind of thing to keep that silhouette from the front of them being kind of leaning forward, because otherwise it would just be one kind of leaning forward and that's a bit strange looking, I thought. So I just did a mirror mod and kind of did it like that. So I think it came out pretty good. The textures are obviously not all there yet. I'm gonna definitely dirty him up a bit so that he'll look cooler like in the concept art, like over here. But I think I stayed pretty true to it. So it's too narrow. So this was my concept art, and this is my dude. I didn't add the extra lines here. I felt like it wasn't really necessary. I don't know if it adds that much. Looking at it now, maybe I will add those. I'll think about it. But the thing that I don't like on my guy here is the spikes. I want to make the spikes... I decided to make the spikes a lot more like this original mesh. Or sprite rather, mesh. And as you can see, they're very kind of cartoony, almost big and white and pointy, silverish, I guess. So I kind of did that here, but they're all very square because I just made it like square based on the, you know, geometry, and I think it just looks lazy and kind of bad. So I'm gonna redo that whole bottom part and just redo those spikes because I just don't like it. It just doesn't look that good. So that's what I'm gonna start on, and then after that we'll probably do some UVs, and yeah, we'll see if we have time for more. It depends how fast I go. So I'm gonna move this down out of the way. It's probably fine right there. Not blocking my view of stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna get in and just continue modeling this dude with this bottom part. So actually, I think I'm gonna duplicate the bottom part. I want to save a copy of it just in case I want to refer back to it for something. But I think right off the bat what I can do is just get rid of like from here down and just redo that whole bottom section, because the upper part's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I definitely need to get rid of that bottom section and redo the spikes for sure. That's just my volume, not your guys' volume for the music. Let's see here. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and break it right there and just delete all that. And then, oh shoot, how do you miss a face there? That's crazy. There we go. Alrighty. Should be good. So now what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna apply this material here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the extrusion again, very similar to how I had it before. And I think, how did I do that? I think I did where this one was like all the way down like this, and then this one I used to make the bevel, to make everything round out nicely. And I had to play with it a little bit to get it in the right place to make it even. See, that's not right. That's definitely not right. I bet it's something like that, huh? Nope. Yeah, so it's reaching the top too fast, so bring it down. Then widen it, maybe? Closer. That's pretty good. I can leave a little rim there. That should be good. Widen that just a bit more. Okay, that's looking pretty solid. So then right off the bat, what I want to do is delete half of these lines, because we're not going to need them. It's just too much geometry, and it's going to make everything kind of clunky, or too narrow rather, not clunky. It's sort of the opposite of clunky. And then I'm just, oh wait, one thing is I don't want to, so I only want it from, let's see, I want to keep them there, but just get rid of them below that, yeah. So dissolve those edges. Okay, better. And then they're still a little bit wide, really. Especially as you get more to here, which is a problem that's just going to happen. But I think, let me think. No, I think down there I'd rather just deal with it as it is. So I think what I'm going to do is now select these rings, get out of transparent mode. That's weird. Why can't I select this top row of rings? Isn't that interesting? I don't know why it does that. I think it's something to do with just the way I put it together here. So that's just going to be difficult for some reason. Clicky click. I got a new mouse. It's super loud. It's very loud clicking. My other one was super quiet. This mouse is way better, but it's extremely loud, I noticed. Hopefully that's not too obnoxious on the stream. Audio. It's a really good mouse though. Alrighty. So I'm going to deselect that one. I think I should deselect this whole ring, probably. And then what I did before was checker deselect, and then I did this. So I think the thing that I'm going to do that's going to be different now is I'm going to try to make these spherical, or sorry, not spherical, conical, like cones. And in order to do that, I need to make these round and not as they are now. So I think I can shoot. I know there's a command where you can bevel a vertex, and you can use that to turn it into a circle inside of a bit of geometry. Maybe I could do something like that with the automatic. Sorry, this should be individual. With the automatic vertex merging. So if I did something like that, where I got all these vertexes to be singular. Did that work? I have no idea. I think it worked. They look singular now. Okay, and then we'll turn that off. And then, that's pretty cool. That's such a cool design. And then, what's that called? That's some sort of a spiral. I forget what it is. It's interesting. It's like one of those sacred geometry things. But whatchamacallit? So now I'm gonna bevel, but I'm going to bevel the vertices. Yes, there we go. And then the way that I'm gonna do that is something like that. So I've got some cool stuff going on. That could be a really cool pattern or something, but not for our purposes. So now what we're gonna do is, if I remember, which I'm trying really hard to remember, is man, what the heck is it? Is it loop tools and then circle? Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So the problem is they're a little bit too big in some places. They go outside the geometry. So I'm going to fix that. There's a couple ways I could fix that, but I think for starters, I can just shrink them down a bit. Now, is that staying flush with the geometry though? It looks like it is. Okay. So far, so good. We're still having some problems down here, it looked like. Or did I imagine things? I thought I saw some glitching. No, I think it looks alright. Okay, so the only problem I have with this is they're a little narrow because of the ones that I had to save on top. So maybe I can just adjust those manually after and make these a little bit wider. Because yeah, and it looks like there's some overlapping geometry on those ones too, which is not good. So was there more to this? I think I need to delete something else. Here, let me get back to this point. Let me do this. Let me shrink them down so that they're at least inside on the other pieces. And then, oh, okay, some of this has weird geometry up top too, over here too on a lot of these. Okay, so how do I fix that? Let's see here. Does this fix anything? Okay, so this can adjust the angle of the spin. Okay, I remember that. And then flatten. Do we want to flatten it? Whoa. That's super laggy. It's crazy how laggy that is. Oh, I hope it doesn't crash. It's a lot of circles to contend with. My graphics card ain't that good. I'll have to wait and see. Just one of those things. Come on. Come on, it's not that bad. You can do it. Screen of death. Come on. I wish I didn't click that. Are we good? Okay, so let's undo that. So I think right off the bat I noticed something else I could do here. So with the bevel, I do want to apply it to vertices, but I have too many segments. I don't need that many segments. That's the first thing. I guess I need more than that. Do like 4. And then the shape should be 0.5, just to keep everything even. Okie dokie. And then for the width, I think it's best if they're sort of inside a little bit, because I think when you turn them into a circle, it expands them anyway with the loop tool thing. So now let's use the loop tool thing and turn it into a circle. Okay, much better. So now we have something much more workable. So I'm gonna, yeah, down here it gets a little funky. It's funky all in this whole one here. Okay, so let me start with making them smaller to fit in those ones. Small as it needs to be, which is right about there, I think. Okay, and then let me deselect. Probably have to just do it manually. Is that even doing what I think it is? So I'm just gonna deselect these ones. It's gonna be kind of tedious. Sorry guys, it's not super exciting stuff, but it's good stuff to be able to do. There may be a better way to do this, I'm not sure. There usually is. I've found there's usually some better way someone's come up with that I'm not aware of, but that's okay. So now I'm gonna get rid of those. I think I can make these ones slightly larger. And then I'm gonna get rid of this outer circle too. So I can just focus on what's left above that ring. Or I guess I should say outside of that ring. I've been playing more of that Ready or Not game. I'm so addicted to it. It's so much fun. I've never been like a big like PC gamer. I'm usually like a console gamer. But man, I freaking love that game. That game is, see, that's what I was trying to do. Why wouldn't I do that earlier? And then just slash. Okay, there we go, much better. Yeah, I've always been console kind of person, and I never really liked aiming with the mouse or any of that stuff, but man, that game has totally changed my mind on all that. I played it so much. I can't get enough of it. I keep playing through the 23 megabytes per second level solo. I'm trying to beat it solo, like without my AI team or anything. And it's basically impossible, but not quite, because I've gotten right to the last stretch a few times, and I always die in what's his name, Michael's apartment. Somebody always jumps out and gets me at the last second. One time it was Michael himself. I went in his room and I just sort of like choked and he killed me, and I was like, no, I had it that time. So I think if I get a recording of that, I'm gonna post it. Maybe I'll get some views. But because I haven't seen anyone else tackle that solo yet, but I haven't really looked for it either. Maybe somebody has done it. But yeah, I think that's fun to try to do that, because the game's obviously not meant to be played that way, but it's making me a lot less fearful in that game. So that game's pretty scary, weirdly. It almost feels like playing a horror game, because it's so like taxing to like go in and kick down doors and not know who's in the room and all that stuff. So I usually let my AI teammates go first, but now since I've been playing that map solo without their help, I'm like way braver, and I'll go in with them, or I'll go in ahead of them and stuff way more, and I'm a better shot now too. So that's pretty cool that you can play a game and actually see not just your skill progress in the bounds of the game, but also see your skill progress in real life. Like you're actually getting better at shooting with the mouse or aiming with the mouse and doing all that different stuff. It's pretty, I don't know, there's something cool about that. So I kind of like PC gaming now, I guess. At least with that game. Might play some other shooters, see how I feel about more PC gaming stuff. But there's just certain games you can't get on PC, like The Last of Us. I love The Last of Us. Oh, wait, actually the first one might be on computer now. I think it is on PC now. I think there's a version of it. But, yeah, those PlayStation exclusives, those will make me keep getting PlayStations, at least for now. Really like those games, like Final Fantasy, all that good stuff. Okay, it looks like these ones are at about their max as well. Is that inside still? Okay, yeah, just barely. And then those last ones I'm gonna have to shrink a bit, because those are too big. They're outside now. And then I have to do the chore of selecting them all again and then extruding them. That part's gonna be a pain. I wish I should have saved them as a freaking. Can't believe I just thought of that now. I should have saved them as a vertex group, so I wouldn't have to reselect them all. God, that's so stupid. Oh well. Deal with it. Okay, so these ones need to be shrunk just a bit, and then the outer ring needs to be shrunk quite a bit. Yeah, there's a lot of good games out right now, but all I can really think about is Ready or Not. That's all I want to play. It's so much fun. I was like sort of itching for a good, really good FPS too, and that really scratched the itch. It's a great game. See, the problem with these ones is they're also kind of up high somehow. I don't know how I can really slide them down without screwing up everything. Is there a way? Like, what if I just edge slide? No, that's not gonna work. Well, that creates some weird effects. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know any way to bring that down without messing it up, sort of. Like, oh, actually, I could try to bring it down with Z. And then when it sticks out, I think if I just pull them back in with no, because they're at weird angles now. So yeah, that's I'm just gonna have to deal with that. That's strange. Okay, that's fine. It's okay if they're a little off center or off axis, I guess. How close are those to that though? Yeah, it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep those selected since I didn't have to deselect those. And I'm just gonna have to select each freaking one of these because I'm a dummy. Didn't make a vertex group. Sorry, y'all. Gives us more time to chat though. Oh no, so some of these are not completely even. Because look at this. This one's outside the bounds too. How is that possible? It creates all kinds of extra problems. Okay, let's shrink that one down. Is that enough? Yeah. Then deselect that one and shrink these ones back up. Or not shrink, I guess expand. Is that lining up? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Okay, so I'll keep going. Hopefully I don't run into too many more of that problem. That's super annoying. They should all be even, in theory. Why wouldn't they be if the geometry is even? See, I gotta be careful not to select the corners. Oh. Wait a minute, would it be easier to just select all and deselect the edges? It might be. Wait, so let me select all. And then if I go to 2, oh no, because they don't follow the, shoot. That's a huge bummer. That would have been way easier. Oh, yeah, for some reason they don't, it's not picking them up as edge loops, so it's not following through. That's really annoying. Okay, no big deal. Keep going. Oops. Oopsie. Oopsie. I think I might try Fortnite soon. Feels gross kind of saying that because I like I never thought I'd play that game. I don't know, I just felt like I've missed that one. I don't need that in my life, but a couple of my friends play it and it sounds fun. People keep saying how good it is and how they slept on it. I've heard like other people also say like they slept on it for a long time and they didn't want to play it. They thought it was too goofy and stuff, and then they played it and they were like shocked how fun it was. So I don't know, I feel like I should just give in and try it. It's free, so I mean, it's kind of gives you very little reason not to try it, you know, and it's a shooter. Could be fun. I see it as sort of a kid's game the way that people used to look at Minecraft as a kid's game, but I really liked Minecraft though. I always thought that was dumb that people thought of it only as a kid's game, because it's really just a game about building and surviving. So anyone could enjoy that. It's not just for kids, but there is a large population of kids who play it, obviously, so I get why they thought that. I guess it's the same kind of thing with Fortnite, although Fortnite's also very goofy inherently, so I think there's a little bit more of a reason to see it as a kid's game because of that. I heard that IGN, for their own separate Game of the Year awards, picked Tears of the Kingdom, which I like because I really liked Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't play Baldur's Gate, but I totally get why that won, because I can tell just by how much people love it, it must be great. I didn't play it though, so I can't really make a judgment on that. I've said that before, but like, I was pretty happy that it got more recognition somewhere else, Tears of the Kingdom, just because it was so good and so innovative. I remember I wondered before that game came out, like, how are they actually going to improve on Breath of the Wild? Because Breath of the Wild was such a solid game, and even the way it played, like, there was only a few things that I thought was really wrong with it. Like, the dungeons were pretty boring. The main dungeons, I mean, not the mini ones that you use to get the hearts and the stamina, but like the main, you know, boss dungeons were pretty boring. And funny thing is, I think that Tears of the Kingdom, they were still kind of not as good as like the rest of the game, but they definitely improved them, and they improved so much of the rest of the game in ways that no one expected. It was really kind of phenomenal, so that kind of blew me away. I felt like that really deserved Game of the Year just because of that. It's pretty amazing. And also the fact that they were able to do it on the Switch hardware, which is pretty dated by now. It's like, I think 10 years old, 10-year-old hardware, something like that, 12 years old maybe. And it's very limited in the scope of what it can do. So the people who, maybe that shouldn't go into the thought of Game of the Year, but then again, it's, you know, it falls in line with game design. It's the technical side of it, but it's still game design, where they were able to do all that, and they were able to optimize it in such a way that it worked on the Switch, and they basically had 3 giant maps with all kinds of stuff to do. And it's like this giant game on this like really limited platform. I thought that was very impressive as well. So for all those reasons, I'm glad that it got Game of the Year somewhere, even if it wasn't the main award. I wish the final fight with Ganon was a little tougher though. Maybe one of my few complaints about that game. That always kind of happens though. Like, the final fight with Ganon never measures up, I think, in any Zelda game. It's pretty good in like Ocarina of Time, mostly just because of how dramatic it is, but it's not particularly difficult. Like, he's not a very difficult boss. His pig form is a little bit more intimidating, but I feel like there were harder bosses just out in the world. Like, I think Bongo Bongo the first time was pretty tricky in that game. But yeah, so that's a thing that a lot of games suffer from, is weak final bosses. And Ganon's definitely historically always been kind of a weak final boss, unfortunately. I think in the 2D Zeldas he's much more challenging. Like I remember Link to the Past when he's Aghanim or whatever. Pretty good fight. Okie dokie. So now we've got this going. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my auto merge on for the vertices, and I'm going to shoot. Did I get this one? Yeah. So let me go faces. Okay, so now it's all faces, and I'm gonna inset first, just a tiny bit, just to give it a barrier there, and then I'm just going to, oops, I inset again, and then I'm going to extrude faces along normals to push everything out. Come on, give me a side view. Okay, that's maybe a little much. Why did this one come out so much more than the other ones? That's weird. That looks a little long. Let me try a little bit shorter. Yeah, it's probably fine. And then just shrink them all down until all those vertexes just merge with the auto merge. There we go. It looks like it did. Oh shoot, but I didn't apply the texture. Here, wait, let me redo that, because it would be a pain to select all those again. Okay, so this time I'm going to assign the texture and then extrude. Oh, it doesn't assign it to the side though? Why not? That's super annoying. Maybe I'll assign it earlier then, and then just make this a smaller thing and it won't be too much of a problem. There we go. And then shrink them down again. Auto merge. Cool, cool, cool. And now if I split by the 3D cursor, I can spread them all out a bit, because I guess it's okay that they're pointing down more, but I kind of like them to sort of point out a little bit. I think it will be better. So S, Shift Z, and there we go. We got more of a spread going on. Now, let me pull it back just a touch. Okay. Pretty good. I think it's a lot better than it was. That's for sure. I did not like the square ones. I thought they looked super cheesy. But see, I'm not liking that it's just the points coming out and there's no like, what would you call that? There's no, the word escapes me right now, but there's nothing here. There's nothing to like separate it. So I think I'm gonna, oops, what did I just do? What? Did I make it invisible or did I delete it? What happened? Oh, okay. What? Okay, I don't know why that keeps happening. What's going on? What? Okay, let me go ahead and save it first. And why when I undo does it do that? Mystery. Okay. That's strange. Is it just... Oh, okay, it's just being hidden for some reason. That's really weird. I don't know why. Okay, so let's keep backing up. So one thing I can do that'll make this easier on me is, that's right, because I have that texture there too, so... yeah, let's go ahead and back it up one more step, assign this texture, shrink it in just a tad, and then Alt E, extrude faces along normals, same as before. That's gonna extrude that too though, so that's gonna be a problem afterwards. Yeah, what's the easiest way to do that then? Okay, that's okay, I'll deal with it. So I'm gonna bring it out to about here, and let's see what we can do. Then I'm gonna do that trick that I did before to sort of stretch it out just a tad and spread them a little bit. There we go. Maybe those are a little too long, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's fine. No, it's a little too long. Might as well do it right the first time. Shift C, spread, okay, there we go, much better. And then I'm gonna shrink them again. Okay, and then I'm going to apply this material. And then I'm gonna shrink them again, just slightly. Then I'm gonna Alt E, extrude faces along normals. Pull them all out. Maybe right to there. And then merge vertices on, or auto merge vertices on. Let's get all those merged to points. Oh, wrong, oops, I forgot. Individual. And then merge them all to points. Okay. So they're all merged to points now. And now I can spread them again. And now I don't have to go back and select and create a whole separate thing for all those to go around the edges. Now they're just there already. Okay, that's looking better. For sure. Yeah, I like that way better than it was before. Definitely. They're a little tiny though. Like, I wish they were a little larger. Maybe I can make that happen if I'm careful. And if I use select, and then I can turn, but the thing is they're at the edge, at the bounds of their geometry there, so that's the thing. If I make them larger, it's gonna break the geometry. Unless I use this. Ooh, that's tricky. Ooh, tricky. Because if you don't want it to, yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? Huh, it's kind of funny though. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, it's kind of small. What did the other ones look like when they were square? Yeah, they were at least much larger, but it makes sense that they got to be smaller to be cylinders. So, and it's definitely maximizing where it can. I guess alternatively, I could make them all separate geometry as a last resort. There's nothing wrong with that I can think of. Let me save a copy of this one. And then on this one, let me just see what happens when I do that. So let's create separate by selection. And let's just select those. select them all individually by individual origins, and let's just make them all, oops, I accidentally selected that too, that's okay. Let me undo that. I don't know why I had that selected somehow. Okay, there we go. Now make them separate. And now, yeah, now I can make them all larger. That's much more like it. That's much more like what I want. Okay, so I think I am gonna do that and just stick with that. And that's okay that they're separate pieces. That should be alright. It might be kind of annoying with the UVs though, because those are all gonna be very separate little maps. That's the only thing. Or will they? Maybe. I'm not sure. They probably will. But it definitely looks way better to have them larger. I mean, that's sort of not... I sort of can't... what's the word? Compromise on that. It just doesn't look good with it smaller. And then as a matter of fact, I should just select these and make them even bigger, and just move them into place. Because they look weird being small on the outside like that. They should be larger too. And then this will look cool. Darth Elian says, "Heyo, would it help to boolean it all together?" To boolean it together. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, I could do that. You know, I'm not sure that would help with the UVs though. It would still be a weird UV, but maybe. But yeah, I didn't think about booleaning it together. That could definitely work. I guess it's fine the way it is though. It doesn't really need to be one piece, because it'll all be one piece anyway. I guess just if you wanted to go to the trouble to make it, you know, ultra clean, you could. That would be one solution, is booleaning it together. You could also, I guess in theory, just go in here and manually just bridge all of these edge loops. That sounds like a nightmare. But that would also work. There would just be some overlapping geometry though, which is not ideal, but again, it doesn't need to be perfect. So I'm gonna make these larger. That's looking better already. Maybe not quite that large. I want them to sort of line up in a logical way, although maybe that's cool. I don't hate that. But yeah, I think I'll make them kind of just... Well, so where were they before? Oh, they were kind of lining up before. So any larger that I make them, they're going to stick out more. Okay, well, I'll let them stick out more. I think that looks better. So then now I want to bring them together a bit though. Kind of move them into place without having to manually adjust everything if possible. And that's definitely not going to be a perfect solution either. Oh, and you can see the hole. That's the problem. Shoot. Yeah. I could just move them down. It's kind of messy, but... Or I could just leave them higher. Or make them bigger. Yeah, let me move them down a little bit more. And then let me just make them larger. If they're already... Oh no, that's too big. And that's too... Right. Maybe okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. It's probably fine. Yeah, it's at least covering the hole. So there's no open geometry. I feel like now I should make these larger too though. They can't get that much larger though. There's not a lot of space. Some of them are right about to touch too. You can push it a little bit more though. Yeah, something like that. It's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. I'm okay with that. And you know what? One other thing, because I don't like how... I think I'm going to gradually have the lower points start to point in. Hopefully that's not too ambitious. Like if I just... How am I even going to grab them? Ilias's Crafts and Toys says, "Hey, greetings. I'm Ilias from Morocco." That's cool. I don't know if I've had many other watchers from Morocco. Nice to meet you. Glad you're checking out the stream. Do you do any 3D modeling or game dev stuff? Or you just think it's interesting? And then I'm gonna Shift Z and just make them point in a little bit more. Maybe not that much. It looks a little unnatural. Maybe like that. And then I'll grab the surrounding ring and do the same thing just to even it a little bit. I was thinking I might try to do some way earlier streams for some of the people in time zones that are way further ahead, like the Brazilian folks. So I've got a few of those. I might do maybe like try to do a noon one when I have some time or something like that. Noon for me. So for you guys it'll be like 5 p.m. or something. Or the Brazilian guys. I kind of want these ones to point out even more, actually, now that I'm looking at them. Again, I need to... Wow, that's a pretty cool pattern that created. Okay. And then... yeah, something like that. That's pretty good. It's looking pretty cool. Starting to get there. Ilias's Crafts and Toys says, "I never played the Mega Man X series. For me, when I was a kid, it was only Mega Man 3 and Mega Man 4 for the NES." That's cool. I never got to play the NES ones, the old Mega Man games, because I played Mega Man X first, and when I was a kid, Super Nintendo was sort of the generation, the earliest generation that I saw, and then after that it went to N64 pretty quick, so I never went back to the old NES Mega Mans. It was sort of hard to go back to those after playing X. I always liked X a lot better. And how do you go back to not being able to dash after you have dashing? It's just too hard. You can't do it. So for me, I always played the X games. I never really played the old Mega Man games. Although I did play Mega Man 8, which was on PlayStation 1. That was really fun. I like that Mega Man game. It was hard. I think I never beat it, because I think the Wily, speaking of final bosses, that was a really tough final boss. And the Mega Man games usually do have pretty tough final bosses. Dr. Wily was really hard in Mega Man 8 because the way it worked was you had to fight a bunch of his goons, and then you had to fight, or was it just a bunch of his own forms at the end? And you always had to start from the beginning if you died. So you would have to beat all of his forms in a row, and I never got good enough to do it when I was a kid. But I really liked that game. It was fun. Darth Hylian says the only Mega Man I ever beat was Mega Man ZX. I never played ZX. That was one of the ones I skipped. I really liked Zero, but after Zero, when they got into all those ZXs and stuff, I was like, not for me, I'm out. Because they totally changed like the story. It was like a totally different thing. And totally different characters, I think, too. Wasn't it? Wasn't it like a combination of Zero and X? Wasn't that why it was ZX or something? But it was like way in the future. Like way in the future. Like Mega Man Zero was in the future too, but that was like way in the future. I think, if memory serves. Cool, this guy's looking dope now. I like his spikes now. They look better than before. Let me do a quick, let me go back to Eevee to see how it's looking in Eevee. Yeah, they definitely look way cooler and more intentional than the stupid square spikes. I could not leave those in. It just looked lazy, and I kind of like how their outer ring is poking out so much. It kind of looks cool, actually. But yeah, before I had this going, and it just wasn't doing it for me. It's just not, it just looks lazy. So yeah, that's good. Is that the one? That was the original one. They're very tiny. Yeah, okay, that's the one. So let me combine the rest of these pieces that need to be combined. So I'll Control J. I have a separate piece for the propeller that's gonna spin. That'll be cool. And spikes are good. This piece is a separate piece that comes down. Oops, that comes down. And that reminds me, I have to kind of finish designing that as well, that top part. So this is going to be here. Let's just make it a single bevel. I'll make it kind of big like that. That'll be cool. And then let's change this material. Okay, I don't want it to look round though. I want it to actually look like a bevel. There we go, much better. And then I'm gonna actually have a mechanism, because I know how to rig a chain, kind of a thing. I have a AutoRig Pro function for that. So I think I'm gonna create the mechanism now that it's gonna sit under. So let me real quick apply all transforms. And then if I move it down, and if I hit Alt G, it moves back. Okay, cool. So I'll just move it down while I'm working on this part in here. So I'm gonna have a bit of a crank thing, and I'm gonna have a chain, and it's all going to lower this lower part down, and that'll be nice and snazzy. So maybe I should build the lower part first. So let me do this. Get this cut in half. Do I need a vertical? Probably, because then I can bevel the center. Okay, so I don't know why the angle is by default it's off. That seems so strange. Okay, and then you know what, I should have made that way, that's not nearly enough. Here, let's redo that. Vertices, let's bring it out, let's make that like twice as many segments at least, and then we'll go ahead and make it a circle, fix that crappy angle, something like that. It's looking good. Okay, and then we'll so what am I thinking? Okay, so this is the bottom part, so I wanted to have an extrusion, and I'm gonna make this larger actually because it's not by that though, by that. Okay, because it's too small. I want it to be more like yeah, let's do this and we'll stack it and we'll make it kind of no, that's too big. Let's keep it a bit smaller because it doesn't have that many subdivisions. Okay, and then, well, gotta create a safe edge and then extrude it. There we go. And then again, safe edge. And then let me just get rid of all that inside stuff because we don't need any of that. There we go. Okay, so I want this to be a little piece that is going to be holding that the end of the chain is going to be attached to, quote unquote chain. Aliases. Oh, sorry. Darth Alien says, by the way, the Japanese versions of Mega Man Zero has blood in it. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. I think the first original Mega Man Zero that came out on Game Boy Advance had blood in it in America too, and they changed it after the release. After the first release, I think there was a second print of the game that didn't have blood, and the first one did, because I'm pretty sure I had blood in the first one. But yeah, I think they changed it in all the subsequent games in America. But I do vaguely remember the blood. But I don't think it was really blood, because they were cybots mostly that you're killing. They're not like people. So it was like red whatever. I don't think it was really blood, but yeah, maybe they're organic, who knows? Could be part organic. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, how am I gonna do this hook thing? This is the kind of thing I should have designed beforehand if I was being smart about it. Okay, so I'm gonna start just by creating a stack that gets smaller as it goes. Oops. And then I think this one I'm going to do some funky stuff with to make it seem like this piece that it is attaching to. I'm trying to think what's the best way to do that. I think I know how I'm gonna do it. I think I'll just do something simple, like where are we here? So this is the front. Okay, so I'm gonna do a Boolean thing. Almost sneezed, sorry. A Boolean kind of thing, I think, with a cylinder. Oh, and yeah, Ilias Crafts and Toys says, I guess you're using the Unreal Engine for a game project. Yes, Unreal Engine, definitely. I think it's the best engine for indie developers who want to make 3D games that's available right now. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to do two different Boolean operations here. I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to have a rope that goes through both of these holes, or a chain rather, that'll loop through, and this is just kind of how it's going to connect to this thing, I'm thinking. But you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm overthinking this. I don't need to make it that sophisticated. That's just a lot more work, and it's going to add a lot of unnecessary geometry. What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to make the chain feed right into here, and so I'm going to create a piece here that will fit the chain. There. So now the chain will feed into that directly, and it can just be, it can be clamped in theory, or I can even add a peg in here that will kind of show that it's held in place if I want to show it visually. But I think I was overdoing it with the way I was setting that up. In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. It doesn't need to be quite that long, I think. Let's just move that way down. Like that. And I think that's going to be plenty for this. I can even add some detail to it if I want later. But now I'm going to work on that chain and the reel kind of mechanism, which will be definitely more complicated. So yeah, so this one's already got a split in the middle there. So let me put this one in, and then we can get going on that vertex bevel. Okay. And for this one, I might make it a little larger actually, to start with. And then, wait. And then inset slightly to create a guide, and then we'll extrude that down. Ilya's Crafts and Toys says, are you reproducing the characters with fidelity slash precision, or are you taking them as inspiration to modify the designs here and there? A little bit of both, but definitely leaning way more towards reproducing them as accurately as I can. If you look at like my like reference here, I'm definitely looking at these and trying to get them very close to what they were in the game. Like if you look at this dude and his spikiness. Here, let me shoot, what am I doing? I can't see. There we go. Yeah, so if you look at this dude, like I'm definitely trying to make him look like this, but I am bringing him, you know, a little more sophistication in this case. This is the first one that I've changed a lot. With the other ones, I was I tried to be mostly pretty straight on and just do them as they were. But yeah, they're all going to get changed a little bit here and there, just to better fit into a 3D world. But I am trying to make them fairly accurate. See, in the art, he was a lot rounder, this one. and it looks way different than the sprite. So I just went with like what he looks more like in the sprite with this shape, and made him a little more angular and kind of scary looking. Oh, I didn't notice he's got green down here. Okay, I'll probably do that green for that part. That makes it more separate. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to be mostly accurate, but I will change things a little bit here and there. Yeah, in fact, let me make that part green. I like that, actually. It's different than what I've got going here. It's a nice, it adds a little extra accent color. I guess I'll make it all green then, this whole part. So I'm going to duplicate this texture. Paste it, apply it to this section, and then I'm just going to make it green. Like a nice kind of dark green look in there. It's kind of an emeraldish. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. It makes it more like a separate piece now. It's kind of nice. Okay, anyway, back to this thing now. Let me grab these real quick because I want to create a sharp edge at the corners there. That's all. Okay, that's better. And then Ilias Crafts and Toys says, is the animation on top left of the screen the previous character you made? Oh yeah, that is. That's the little dude. I can make that larger for a second. Where is it here? Yeah. Yeah, that was the one I did before. He was one of the first enemies that I modeled. Oh, but wait, so this has got to fit together though too, that's the thing. Shit. Okay, so I think I know what I'll do then, is that I'll make that indented, and then I'll make it have the little crank at the top. Okay, that'll work. So let me do that. Oops, see this, we're gonna run into this problem until I get rid of those inside parts. Wait, what? Am I on faces? Yeah, I'm on faces. Meant to be on edges. Not that one. There we go. Much better. Okay, that's probably good. And then let's do something like that. And so we're gonna run into this piece now, so we can't make this all that tall. I could use this piece as the crank part, actually, if I'm clever about it. That could work pretty well. Okay, I might do that then. Here, before I do that, let me go like this, and then let me grab that and that, and then I'll bring it down again. Oh, well, I guess. Yeah, there's not really any need to do it like that. I'll just make it here. So then I'll do this and this. Is that even gonna work? I can't really see. Yeah, that kind of works. But maybe it would have to be as far as like out here to really sell the idea. Not that you're gonna see this all that up close, but I would like it to at least kind of make sense from a logical, mechanical sort of point of view. Oh, I see what's happening. That's just shifting. It's not actually going down. Right, okay. So that's not really gonna work. Well, then again, you can cheat it by just applying a dark texture. So maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'll just have like a feeding piece that goes across there like that. And a, what you call it? See, I'm overcomplicating this again. Because the only thing is it needs to fit in there. So maybe this is a little too tall now. Let me see how it actually fits. I mean, that must be overlapping, right? Oh yeah, you can see here, it's definitely getting some of that, but only like that much. Okay, so that might work. So I could just, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's going way into it then. Right? There's no way for me to just see in here, it's super annoying. But I know that's definitely... Okay, so if I position myself in here, I can get into here, and I can sort of see when it's coming through. Yeah, so that's way... actually, yeah, it's only like that top part, so that kind of makes sense. Okay. So then in that case, let me just, Cool. Oh, and then Ilias's Crafts and Toys says, you are focused and motivated to craft all those details in your work. Tell me, how do you keep your motivation, and do you struggle from time to time to keep the working pace? Keeping a working pace, yeah, that's always a struggle. It just depends on, you know, I've been at this for a while now, so I've gotten used to just doing it every day. But definitely in the beginning there's some like struggle to keep it going until you start seeing some returns on your investment. That's pretty motivating once you do that, whether that's money or if it's people being really excited about your work. You know, that helps, because it just means you don't feel guilty for spending so much time on it. That's part of it. And it also makes you want to do it more to get more of that stuff, of course. But I mean, there's also just an element of you have to be disciplined with it. But that's with any kind of artistic pursuit that you want to do as a career. You have to accept that, especially early on, there's going to be, you know, some period of time that you've got to work on it and nobody's really going to care. And you're probably not going to get paid right away for your work until you get good at it. So for a lot of that early time, you're going to be working for free. And in order to do that, you have to develop the discipline to do that, whether you feel like it or not. So I've sort of already gone through that early stage of doing that, and this is pretty natural to me now. There's still definitely times when I'm like tired and I'd rather not stream or I'd rather not work on something, but that's just like anything else, you know. Sometimes you win that battle, sometimes you don't. You try to win it more often than you lose. And I think you get better as you go. It's definitely true. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people quit early on with these kinds of things, because you can go a really long time without anyone caring and without, you know, really getting any return on all the work that you put in. It's like a really long beginning period where that is the case. So I think that's why a lot of people quit in the early stages. It definitely is. That's where your passion comes in, though. If you're passionate about what you're doing, and if it's the kind of thing that you would want to be doing even if you weren't getting paid, then that becomes easy, because it's just something you like anyway. So that definitely helps. Passion's important for these sorts of things. Okie dokie. Passion and discipline. It's both for sure. Oh, why did that become orange? That's weird. The orange metal texture. Okay, so that's there. So now I'm gonna do the chains and stuff. Oh, I guess that could be the chain part, and then the chains on the outside could just be kind of showy. Like, they don't have to really I forget how the rigging works too. I'll have to experiment with it a bit, I'm sure. Ilya's Crafts and Toys says, yeah, it's like agriculture. You put a seed in the soil and need to wait months and months before getting fruitful fruits. Yeah, definitely. There's a faith aspect to that too, I guess, as well. Yeah, the faith that it will turn out okay. and that it's both. It's that the faith that it'll turn out okay, and the belief in yourself that you'll be able to do it, make it turn out okay. It's a lot of things. That's not wrapping at the top, is it? It kind of is. Okay. Well, I don't want it to. Oh, that one's not, for some reason. Where does that one end? Right about where I would hope this one would. Okay. How much of that can I get rid of? Okay, that's probably good. Ah. Okay, that's pretty even. So then S and X. There we go. Pull that in pretty nicely. Try to do the same thing with this. Oh, but I don't want to change this at all. Don't select that at all. Or that. Just want to bring those other parts in. What? Oh, I know. Yeah. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now the chain, this is going to be a tricky part for sure. Because I don't actually know how long. I guess I'll just have to decide how long I want the chain to be. Probably make it. Actually, that's probably good. Nah, a little longer. Because it's got to drop through the floor, basically. Like it pushes down through the floor. So I'll make it a little longer. Does that cut through the floor there? Yeah, it starts to touch it. Okay. Yeah, for some reason volume doesn't always put it quite in the middle. It's really weird. I guess there's that logically makes sense because I don't know. Who knows? Okay. So this is about the full way he'll be able to be extended. I'm thinking. It looks pretty good. And then for this chain, let's do a cylinder. 32 should be good because this will be pretty skinny. And we'll make that nice and tiny. Oops, 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 oops. Something like, oh yeah, I want it to fit in the top of this thing, so let's see where it fits. That's almost skinny enough. Yeah, just like that. Oops. And what color is that in the game? Does it have a color? Is it like gray? Is it metal? I'm not sure. I guess I should have looked at like what its extended thing actually looks like. I'm trying to find it in my reference here. Do I have more in-game reference? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's round in the game. Oh, and it's round in there. I see, I see. Well, probably not gonna do that because I already made the damn thing. Alright, interesting. And then this goes there and it's got like a loop thing, but that's kind of similar to what we're doing. And it's a gray kind of a chain. I'll probably give it some futuristic material, some kind of synthetic material. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Glad I checked. That's insightful. Yeah, it's definitely different what we got going on, but damn, now I want to make it like that though. It's not gonna fit this piece though. That's the thing, and that would interfere with the geometry a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna make a compromise on that part. Alright, let's finish making this chain the right size. So where it is right now, let's extend that all the way up. And we'll give that a bunch of subdivisions, something like that. Now we're looking at 50,000 triangles. Okay, that's okay. I could probably make that a little bit less if I just delete some of these, which I probably don't need them all. Get rid of some of these. I'm gonna have that many loops. I should probably bring this down to like 16. Oops. Dissolve. Okay, that's probably better. Actually, maybe even... No, that's fine. We're at 50k now. It should be good. I could probably lose some somewhere else. But, we'll see. And for now, I'm gonna leave this as, what is this material? That looks kind of right. Maybe this whole area. I will do something with a little bit different. Okay. Cool. Much better. I like that better. Yeah, that's looking good. So what I'm gonna do, oh sorry, I missed the chat. Let's see. Gotta go. I'll try and do my best to check out your next stream. Yeah, for sure. No worries. These are all recorded anyway, if you ever want to check it out later. Alrighty guys, I think I made some good progress on this dude. Finished up with the bottom part, built the chain in, built the kind of mechanism that's gonna move the chain. In case you can't tell, this is gonna wrap. The chain is gonna wrap around here when we rig it. You'll see how that works on the next stream. We'll get to some rigging. I'll probably do the the UVs off stream, and that'll be good. Oh, it looks like we got some artifacts here that we're gonna have to fix. That's probably an effect of this part here. If I could find it, this thing. It's this thing. It's got to be. Let me select this. See where that's going. Yeah, so I shrunk that down, so maybe that's having that effect there. Not sure how to fix that exactly. I'll have to figure that out though, because that looks janky. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's okay. I'll figure it out next time. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I've been streaming for a good hour and 40 minutes. So thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's cool talking to you. I will be on again tomorrow night, and pretty normal for the rest of the week. And looking forward to Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry early Christmas. I'll see you tomorrow for the next stream. Anyone who tunes in. Bye bye.